Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first session of IndieX 2020 this Saturday. It's a pleasure to have with me Thomas Waterzooi, which is the author of a really original game, which I know will create a good and proficuous discussion with me at least, which is Please Touch the Artwork. Thomas, welcome. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thanks.
How are you?
Great being here. I'm good. Well, it's a bit confusing looking at myself in the stream, so I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm fine. I'm gonna warn you. I'm not a morning person. So this is still, although I'm in Belgium, which is 1 hour ahead of
Yeah, me too.
Portugal.
Yeah.
I'm still in my morning phase.
Me too.
So,
Me too. So.
but it's good. This is a good way of waking up, talking about games and art.
Yeah.
My favorite way of waking up. Yes.
I have to admit that when we had lots of submissions and we only have 40 slots for this year's IndieX 2020, and when I opened Please Touch the Artwork, I almost instantly talked with my other colleagues, and I were like, "Whoa, this is really something. We have something really special with this game."
It's nice to hear.
And it's amazing that, not spoiling the conversation we're going to have live, but it's cool to actually speak with the author and break our own misconceptions or preconceptions about what we played, or maybe the interpretation we had about the game. So, this is, on your first contact, it's a puzzle game? Did you create it as a puzzle game?
Oh, that's a good first question. Do you have an hour? Yes. Wait. So it is, and I would say it is a puzzle game because it started off with one mini game.
Yeah.
Being a puzzle game. I don't know how far you want me to go, right, without spoiling stuff, but it kind of, I along the way, I discovered people want clarity. I mean, myself, I want clarity as well, right? When I buy something, I want to know what I buy. So to categorize it, I think it's best for common convenience to call it a puzzle game. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give the short answer because I know you have more questions. If you
Yeah.
want to ask me follow-up,
I think
go
the
ahead.
best thing will be to dive into Please Touch the Artwork. By the way, let me warn everyone that's watching this now, live, and afterwards, that you can still go to, until tomorrow night, you can go to Steam to Please Touch the Artwork's page and play the demo and see for yourself why we loved Please Touch the Artwork so much. And possibly why, and we'll see this, why my interpretation of Please Touch the Artwork might be completely wrong, and Thomas will correct me on that. But let's dive
There's
into...
no wrong interpretations. There's no wrong interpretations.
Oh, where did I hear that before? There are no wrong interpretations. So here we go.
All right. Oh, so you're going to be playing? Cool.
Yes, just... I'm gonna be playing. Let me just correct something, which is, let's keep this here because game capture isn't showing technical problems being done live without people noticing. This is magical. So the first question I asked Thomas, I already know the answer, but I think it's interesting to ask it. You don't have a fine arts background, don't you, Thomas?
No. I'm actually an engineer. I'm a civil engineer. Photonics, more to say. That's communication with light, optical fibers and stuff. But I didn't want to start working as an engineer, so I did a follow-up education in game development, which there's one in Belgium, only one actually in the whole country. but it's really good. It's considered one of the top schools in worldwide. It got an award for this. It's called Digital Arts and Entertainment.
Okay.
And basically, in 3 years, they give you like a professional I call it A to Z game development course, right? Basically, I mean, it has changed a bit since I left there, but basically, you get divided up in game developers and game artists.
Okay.
And I chose the developer way because I felt it gave me a bit more insight, background into how the games really work. I guess because I'm an engineer, that's what I typically like, is to know how things work. But I also have a big love for art, of course. But I mean, I just had to make a choice, right? My parents, I mean, my father is a comic artist and my mother designs textile. So there's like this art fed to me, like this design and whatever.
Your father
But
is
I've
a
never
comic artist.
Yeah, he makes political comics
Really?
in Belgium. Yeah.
Like
only national politic. So he doesn't do
like
international politics.
newspaper strips.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that's really
exactly.
great. Yeah, actually,
So,
the
yeah.
French Belgian comics is a huge inspiration for me. Yeah, actually, is one of my
Yeah.
sorry
Bless you.
morning allergies. Oh my god, you said you weren't a morning person, but yeah, morning allergies are terrible. Now, telling
How do you say bless you in Portuguese? Is salute? No,
saúde, or
Saúde.
we also say it's more common to say santinho, which is like
Centinho.
yeah, like like calling you a saint because I think
Because you are.
no, the folklore usually said that when you sneeze, the devil was inside you, and so
And it went out.
the ancient Portuguese would say like santinho, some kind of exercising it with a saint. Yeah, it's
Makes sense.
it's cool too. So your father is a comic artist, yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, it made sense that the whole art would eventually come back to me, like the influence, or at least the interest in it, right? So I guess that has contributed to founding this idea of making a game about art as well. But no, I'm not a fine artist. That's the short answer. No, I'm not a fine artist. No. Why do you ask?
Well, the first of all, it was interesting to see a game so interested in a specific movement. That's what caught my eye at the beginning. It was like, why does this person is so interested in Pete Mondrian or the steel movement? And that was my first question. Why I need to ask this to the author.
Yeah. But actually, if you have a little bit more time, I specifically put it up here for you guys to watch, but it's in Dutch. But basically, the book, it's from Will Gumpert, and he's the ex-CEO of MoMA, and he wrote a book, and it's basically like a overview of modern art, like the last 150 years. In English, it's called "What Are You Looking At?" And it's basically for the leak, like people. No, not leak. That's not the right word. How do you say like a person that doesn't know something about something? Anyway, dummy. Let's say dummies. It's basically art for dummies, right? But in Dutch, it has a way better title. I mean, literally translated, it says like, "My little sister can do this as well." That's the Dutch version of how that's how they translate it. And then it says, "Why modern art is art." And I mean, that's part of how I feel, not being educated in art.
Yeah.
I have a very complex relation with it, right? Like, how should we feel it? Like, I don't always feel stuff is art, and sometimes I think like, yes, it's true, my little sister can do this, but actually it's not true. It is true, it's not true, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? It also has to do with the time frame and when art was made, right?
Yeah I think
it's very political, social.
Co-
long
context
discussion.
context matters. That's why I was telling you when we weren't on the record that usually that's my main concern with the contemporary art. And why? Because I noticed that when I was a student at Fine Arts, and now I am a teacher at Fine Arts, which is sometimes I feel that students reach a place without walking the actual way. Like if you watch the modernists from the beginning of the 20th century, you have a context, what's happening in the world that motivates these movements to appear, be it the neoplasticism of Mondrian that we are watching here on the screen, being the surrealistics, the Dadaists, the futurists. Every single aspect of those movements had like you can pinpoint why that happened. Nowadays I feel like things don't have a context. They are because they are, and that's what I
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say like there's still stuff happening, but it's more micro. While in the time of Mondrian, you had the First World War, right? Which was a huge event. It was a worldly event, and now I guess if there's more events, but more on a local scale, which makes it more difficult, I guess, to see the influences of each artist.
Yeah, but
maybe later in 100 years it will become more clear, like we're analyzing 100 years back. It's like, oh yeah, this is because of the World War. This
I
is
don't know,
because of the Russian Revolution.
Thomas. I don't know, because it was pretty clear, even in terms of manifests, even in terms of how artists and philosophers and writers group themselves, and the movements had a line that they followed. Like they stipulated a series of concepts that would make sense for the movement. When people speak to me about Cubism, and they were like, "Why anyone can do that?" And when you analyze the evolution of especially from Picasso, which is their main author, when you analyze this process, like there's a road they walked until getting to that specific moment. And things have.
No, that's true. Yeah.
But even there, you're telling like maybe in 100 years we will understand nowadays contemporary art as much as we understand 20th century modernists. But the difference is that at that time, critics could understand the movement and the group as
I see what you mean. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And
cool.
And that was the I think that's the main difference. If we were having this discussion on stream on 1923, we would be saying like, yeah, I know why Mondrian is doing this, but and this I believe this stream just turned really
Let's go to the game.
Let's go. So we are on the gallery desk, and we have this first yes. Okay, my wife just made fun of me because I just sounded like an art critic on this stream. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to touch my mustache. Just
like you're on the wrong stream. You're on the wrong stream.
Yeah. So let's go to the first painting or level, if people want to call it like this.
Yeah, I don't know. I call it gallery, I guess. I haven't found a perfect name for it. Yeah. Basically, you're visiting a museum and you're being guided by this guide, whatever. And I would say the game is divided up into galleries, which each explore a painting or a movement or a style or something. But it's
By the way, how do you say the style in Dutch? Because that's how the style.
Yeah.
I've been saying it wrong my entire life.
That's fine. I mean, you still have time.
Yeah. Noon just asked you something, Thomas. Did you aim to educate on, or maybe awaken an interest on modern art with this game?
If I got more interested into modern art, is that the question? Yeah. Well, I mean, I was already interested, as I mentioned, with the book, because yeah, because I said like my parents influenced me, and I was interested in art, and I wanted to discover like why are these feelings so mixed, and what were the real intentions of these artists. And as Ricardo just mentioned, it is true that in a way it's clearer to define what their motivations were, right? Um, so my interest in modern art has peaked, but modern art is not contemporary art. That's, I guess, another discussion. Um, yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the shapes. I love everything about it, and that's mainly why I made a game about it as well, to share this love with the world. To the main, it's not the main goal, but it's one of the goals, is to introduce modern art to gamers. Um, well, actually, the main goal of my company, I'm just a solo developer, but is to introduce these more adult topics, I would call them. Adult, not being porn or sexual,
Yeah.
but just like adult topics that we come off. I mean, we are interested in general in our lives, human interests, culture, society, politics, and art. Art is a big piece of that. Like a lot of people really like going to museums, so I still thought it was underrepresented in the game world. I'm kind of deviating from your question, but that's
Thomas, since you like, I believe here we have Mondrian represented, but would you go into geometric abstractionists or constructivists too? Do you think of going to those German and Russian movements, since they
yes.
have
Well,
similar?
actually,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not really focusing on groups or movements or artists per se. I'm actually just looking at paintings, and if I say like, oh, I really like them, I'm gonna try to make a game about them. Then I just do. Maybe I should quickly describe what the process is behind each game. Basically, I take a painting or a group of paintings that are similar. In this case, it's compositions in red, yellow, and blue, which is kind of a group name Mondrian gave to all of these paintings. And I try to generate them. So what you see actually is generated. It's not designed, it's not drawn. It's procedurally generated, that's called. Basically, it's by means of an algorithm, a piece of code, some rules. You try to generate a world or a drawing. Basically, here I take the square and I say like, oh, just randomly divide it in two.
Okay.
And the two squares that are left, randomly divide them as well, etc., etc.
And I would swear that some of these compositions I already saw them in on a canvas. So you just
Well, so let me further explain then. Then after I have this generation, I try to add a bit of gameplay, because in the end it is some kind of puzzle game. It has to have a bit of a goal, although I'm thinking of like changing this in the future. I'm not sure yet. And also, like, part of the goal is for the paintings to start looking more and more like the real painting. Of course, there's conflicts between the gameplay and the visual part, because in here, what you see now, you see a lot of colors. The painting is almost fully filled with colors.
Yeah.
And Mondrian would never do this, right? His goal was to balance out the colors, to balance out the yellow with the white and the black, etc., etc. So I'm not really doing this here. This is just because of gameplay restrictions. Like, I can't, else the gameplay would be ruined. But the further you go in the game, I would say the paintings start looking more and more like, or I hope, start looking more and more like the real paintings. They become a bit more balanced. So it's kind of a sub goal. I don't always reach it. But here you see there's more colors being added, and there's more planes being added.
Yeah.
It becomes more complex, but that also results in the fact that you will generally be having more white, which hopefully balances out the colors. Yeah, I hope that was a bit
We also have a
clear.
question here, Thomas. Do you think that your
Yeah.
game can be considered a piece of art also, or is it simply entertainment?
Yeah, very good question. People have asked me this question, and a marketing guy said that I had to choose. This is clearly, yeah, this is marketing. Like, is this a puzzle game? Is this a work of art? Is this an art game? Can it be both? He said I kind of had to choose because are people looking for art? Am I targeting people looking for art, or am I targeting people looking for puzzles?
Yeah. Why not both?
Yeah, I don't know. As I said, he said I kind of had to choose because it's difficult to do both. I don't really feel like I'm an artist by doing this. It's kind of an ode, sorry, not an oath, but an ode to these artists. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm spreading their work. It's not really my work, although a lot of people would say differently. This is also part why I'm doing this. For me, it's really difficult to define myself as an artist. That's the short answer. It's something you feel. Sometimes it's imposed upon you, I guess. Sometimes you can make something and it becomes so popular that people start calling you an artist. Or sometimes you define yourself as an artist. I don't know. If people start calling me an artist, I will gladly take on the title. Let's keep it like that.
I feel while we're speaking, I feel I'm into the mindset for please touch the artwork. It's easy for you to blend in the mindset, you know, like you dive into the game and suddenly you're completely into what you ask, what you're supposed to do, even with these procedurally generated compositions. Yeah, and it's easy to get immersed, which is a cool thing. Have you been thinking of putting this on Apple Arcade, for example?
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, that's my main goal. But
Okay.
I hear they're so busy. So I mean, if you have any contacts, please help me.
Yeah, I might
Or
get
if-
you one.
Sorry?
Yeah, might have one. Might have one for you.
That's nice. Or if somebody here from Apple is watching or whatever, I would love you to share this with them. The problem is, I think they have so many applications, right? So many submissions that you really have to stand out. And I want the game to be a bit more finished or a bit more polished or showing what the end result will be. Although some people say it's already very, very polished. But it's like, I feel like I only have one shot, you know, like the Eminem song, like you only get one shot, do not miss your chance to blow or something, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like if it's not going to be perfect, they're not going to look at it and etc. But I think it's a good candidate for Apple Arcade. Yes, yeah, that would be very nice because it fits their art as well, I guess, and it fits their catalog, and it's something that I think a lot of people will be able to enjoy, even children. I mean, as I said, originally I was not designing for children. I wanted to address adult topics, but this can be played by, I think, 11 years and up, because it's kind of difficult in a way. I've seen people from 9, 10 succeeding. I'm not going to underestimate some children. So that's a good thing. And I don't know, actually, I lost my train of thoughts. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's good for an audience like Apple Arcades. Yeah. It's also, maybe if you want to hear a bit more about the game itself, about the rules, not the rules, but the things around it is it's a very calm game, or
Yeah.
actually all the games are very calm. They're very relaxing, or they're supposed to be relaxing. There's a really nice soundtrack which you don't hear right now, but
Yeah,
it's
oh, you don't hear the soundtrack now? Ah, no, you're on mute because you're listening to me. Yeah, but people are listening to the
sorry.
cool
Yeah, industry.
jazzy.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Okay, nice. Okay.
That's something that
So
helps you into the mood,
mood.
actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a
And it's
small comment,
actually
Thomas. Someone is saying you actually
yes.
are an artist, as you are doing video
Thanks.
games.
Thank you. Okay. I'll consider it. Yes.
Let me restart this. Also have
So
another
the
question
jazz,
for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, please go ahead. We have time for this question. Please.
Yeah. So the jazz was actually done on purpose because I wanted to give you the feeling that you were in
An art gallery.
Mondrian's.
Yeah.
No, actually.
For the period,
Not,
this kind of mid what, like 30s jazz, is that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not sure it's 100% historically correct, but it's just like I wanted you to imagine that you were in the atelier. I don't know what the
Yeah. It's
like
it's exactly the same
where-
word in Portuguese. Yeah.
okay, where Mondrian was making the painting, right? So he was listening to jazz at that moment. So I wanted to like recreate that feeling, and it's very calm and relaxing at the same time, and there's no time pressure. That's also one of my conditions in general. All of my games are not skill based, or at least not like quick skill based. They take place in the mind. They give you time to explore. There's no time restrictions. They don't really punish you that hard. I'm gonna try to add more narrative, which I think you will see in the second game.
Do you want me to go there, because I'm really having fun on the first one, and I know the concept for the second one, the Broadway Boogie Woogie, as you told me, is slightly different. We can show it because I'm completely immersed and on this, and people is like, is this guy doing a stream or he just forget about us? So this is
fine, yeah, whatever.
This is one of the greatest qualities of Please Touch the Artwork, and we felt it, and I think everyone that is watching also might feel it. So you for those watching, you understood the concept of the first gallery. This one will
maybe
be.
you should quickly show the gallery here, because it is kind of important. Like, this is the level selection menu, and if you scroll a bit to the left, I don't know. Can you go back to the gallery? Yeah. Sorry, yeah, there's a bit of a delay. Oh, you're already in Boogie Woogie. Oh, okay.
Let me
Never
go
mind.
to
I was a bit behind on the screen.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm now on the gallery. You have a small delay.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually not the start of the Boogie Woogie game, I guess, because you already played it. It's saved something. But this
one is the first one.
No, let's play Boogie Woogie first, and then I'll show you the gallery of Boogie Woogie. That's gonna be
okay.
Can you just click
this is
the Boogie Woogie?
Yeah, I'm on the first pack.
Okay, cool.
First painting. So the idea is that we have Boogie and we have Woogie, and they fit each other.
Exactly.
And the idea is to throw Boogie into Woogie and complete them.
Yeah. So it's kind of a Romeo and Juliet story, I always say.
Yeah.
I'm not a writer at all, but as I said, I wanted to do more narrative because I enjoy narratives. I guess a lot of people do. Everybody enjoys stories in some way. And in the future, I would love to work together with actual writers, but this was just my small first attempt to do something myself. And yeah, as I said, this is just a simple Romeo and Juliet story, two people that just want to be together. But the ever-growing society or city is making it more harder to do that, right? and this is translated here in obstacles. Literally, there's some obstacles like this white and red blocks coming in your way, pushing you towards other directions, and you have to figure out how to overcome those obstacles.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of stories. I think there's not that many different kind of stories. I guess I didn't invent this, but I think there's been these sayings like there's only 15 or 16 stories, and all of the rest are variations of those.
Yeah.
But let's not go into that because I'm not schooled in literature at all. So let's just enjoy the game. And this, as Ricardo already mentioned, is based on Broadway Boogie Woogie, which is a painting that he made when he fled to New York, that Pete Mondrian, made when he fled to New York during World War II. So not World War I, but World War II. He was actually living in Paris for a while, then he moved to London, but then his apartment got bombed, or at least very close to his apartment, like a bomb exploded and his windows broke. And that's when he made a decision, no, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm moving to the USA. So the last, I'm not exactly sure, it's not 10 years, but maybe 5 years of his life he spent in New York. And I mean, I think we all clearly can see that this street pattern or these line patterns are influenced by the grit patterns of the streets of New York. So again, it's slowly building up towards how the actual painting looks. Like the actual painting is way more complex. You can look it up while you're seeing this stream. It's called Broadway Boogie Woogie, and but slowly I'm building up the complexity of the levels. I'm introducing these buildings, introducing different obstacles, etc. And that's kind of it. I was very intrigued with this painting. It's a very nice. I think it's in MoMA. Yeah, it hangs in the New York MoMA, and it's one of his most popular paintings as well.
Yeah.
So I guess I kind of owed it to him to make a game about this as well. And I had to look. I mean, I had to search for a long time to make it more different than the first game. This whole game development process has kind of been a long search. But maybe it's time for another question because keep on rambling.
By the way, are you thinking of since this all is procedurally generated, are we going to have some kind of infinite mode?
Yeah. How would that work then?
Like
like
the algorithm just keeps on creating more compositions and you keep on trying to solve them.
Yeah. You mean like some kind of Zen mode? I mean, this is already very Zen, I guess. But in a lot of these games, you have this Zen mode where you can just like keep playing.
Yeah.
I guess. We can do that, sure. Yeah, but then without the story, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a good idea. Maybe when you finish the game,
you unlock it,
you unlock it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The way you have the algorithm program, do you have, for example, the second gallery, the Boogie Woogie? Do you feel it's also able to keep on generating these paths, these streets, and keep on creating new levels? Because for the first one, it looks perfectly clear to have an infinite mode. Because
I guess for this one as well. As long as the complexity, I mean, you limit the complexity at a certain time.
Yeah.
Then you can make variations. I don't know if they'll be interesting enough, but that's of course, that's something as a game designer that I wonder every day, like, is this still interesting? Who's gonna play this?
Yeah.
But I guess there's people playing Sudoku, sorry, every day, and yeah, the game is the same, right? Sudoku doesn't change. It's just a simple game, and maybe they don't think about it anymore. It's just to get their mind off of something. So people play games in different ways and for different reasons. So yeah, it is possible.
We have two cool comments on our chat, which the first one is the name of the game is just genius, and it's true. It's really genius. And it really fits to have it on iPad or Apple Arcade, especially with this title. And the second one, it's that it is true, João. The game is challenging, but I don't feel it frustrating at all because the mood doesn't put you on that mindset. Like you feel you're trying to solve it. Now I'm failing a lot because I'm speaking at the same time, and I'm completely forgetting the way these rotate. But in terms of puzzle and in terms of immersion, it's great. And should we watch the gallery? I just left and now I'm in the gallery.
That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea.
And it show us where we've been, and it tells us the story of Montreal.
Exactly. So on the paintings you have the story of Boogie and Woogie.
Yeah.
But in the gallery itself, I took the liberty to tell something more about the artist, right, or the art movement. And actually, all of the games will have this gallery, and I think the first game that we played tells something more about the style in general.
Yeah.
While this game tells something more about
His
Mondrian.
life. Yeah.
About his life, and I just came up with it because it's actually how museums do it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I practically stole it from real life, right? Museums put a lot of their information on the walls. You walk around, you watch some paintings, you read every new room you get in, you read a bit of context about what's being shown in the room, and yeah, that's it. And the nice thing I think here is that it's optional, right? You don't really have to read it to progress in the game.
But it's a layer of a game you can enjoy also.
Exactly. If you want to know more, then just read. If you just want to continue and play the puzzles, you just play the puzzles. So I thought it was kind of a nice way to, and yeah, you unlock. It's also a rewarding system, right?
Yeah,
you unlock. The further you get, the more content you unlock. So I just have to find a bit more content to tell, and then we're good. Yeah.
And now we're going to the third gallery, and this is when the tone of the game changes. Okay.
Yes, the third gallery.
Let me go to the first one.
Do you want me to talk about it, or should I just wait?
If you want to, yeah. Oh, I already did this. Okay, so this one.
I think if you click on the maybe this one, yeah. If you click on the game in the gallery.
Yeah.
If you click on the icon in the gallery, then when you're in the game and you click on the same icon, then you will reset the game. I think, not 100% sure, but I'm not sure if you understood me.
Yeah.
So because the stream is a bit delayed. So whenever you're playing, it's also.
I think it's not working. It's not working the reset button. But I'm going. Maybe, okay, the first one on this gallery asked me to draw a circle. Okay, now I'm going to draw an hexagon without lifting my finger. Of course, I'm using my. And I draw a pentagon and not an hexagon, and I got a cool. This is what I. If Thomas didn't tell me something beforehand, I would draw a pentagon. I will draw an hexagon. I decided to draw a pentagon for you to know something, which is
that it's not so basically a brief introduction. So you paint something and then you get judged. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because all of these games they judge you in a way, right? They give you a score.
Yeah.
It's like a typical thing in game development. And so I thought, like, what if this score is just random?
Yeah.
So you think like you're actually, doing something better than last time, but you're not. It's just random, and it's kind of a critique is a big word, but it's kind of a representation of how art judgment is done in real life, because a lot of people like something, a lot of people don't like something. So who am I to judge you, right? You just make your work, and if you like it, and if you find other people that like it as well, then the better for you. That's how art works, and it can explode all of a sudden. A lot of people can like it. You can talk about these universal aesthetics that everybody likes. And I'm sure those exist, but yeah, that's basically it.
And something interesting is that from the 3 galleries, sorry, this was the only painting I didn't know of, because this is also Mondrian, but on a figurative phase, an early phase where he didn't go to abstractionism, and this is
exactly.
the original one is actually called the Retri, isn't it? And that was your basis for this. The algorithm, what does it? It puts a painting texture on top of our drawing, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the red tree was actually in kind of his transient period.
Yeah.
So it was in between pure figurative, pure nature painting, and full abstract.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like a tryout, like how can I exaggerate these colors, play a bit more with not abstractism, I don't know how you call it, but also spirituality, I guess. But it was to show that Mondrian was not born making abstract work, right?
Yeah, and thank you for saying that, because remember when I was saying that I feel people from my generation, younger people a little bit older than me, they arrive at a point not understanding that painters like Mondrian or Kandinsky or Picasso, they walked the road to get there. That wasn't like when you look at neoplasticism, or even though that late phase from Mondrian, from the New York phase, which is really different from the Stell. Did I say
the
well?
Stell, yes.
The Stell phase.
Nice. Yeah.
What you notice is that there's an evolution, and there's a progress. There's an understanding of their work and the movement. And now people just it's like if you teleported to a place. You arrive there, but you don't have you didn't walk the path until there. So that's why most of the time I feel it's meaningless. And yes, if any student watches me say this, this is actually what I believe. Sometimes your conclusions are meaningless because it lacks everything else. Okay.
Yeah. No, like the first game you saw, like the real compositions in red, blue, and yellow, which made Mondrian so famous. He only painted this when he was like 50 years old or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, you still have time to explore. It's also kind of a comfort for our generation and people behind us, is that don't worry if you don't succeed to be a rock star or a superstar when you're in your 20s. You still have time. Don't worry. That's my father always tells me this. So I'm giving you this advice as well, and it is reassuring. It's like, I don't worry, I'll get there. I still have time.
Also a cool aspect of this, it's we can give our name and then have the painting sold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So back to the mini game a little bit more, was actually the idea was to have an artist simulator based on all of these simulation games. I went a bit more meta with this game, clearly, and you make a painting and then you sell it. It's also a bit like these incremental games or idle games, as they are called, which don't require you to do that much, right? Basically clicking. Cookie Clicker is a very famous example.
Yeah.
And I was thinking more in that direction. It's just basically painting, selling, painting, selling, painting, selling. But I mean, yeah, I spent a bit of time making this prototype, and then all of a sudden I was not satisfied with it anymore because, of course, these cookie clickers, they're very well designed. They're really designed to make it as addictive as possible with these bloop bleep bleep mechanics everywhere and these upgrades and blah blah blah. And I didn't really have this here. So as I discussed before the stream actually started, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this game or where I'm going with it. I might even not put it in the main game and then release it as some kind of DLC or extension or whatever.
I'd like to do. I told you that I like the difference in tone because these two are classical and really, really well thought puzzle games around art. The third one, that's when I told you I used the word disarm me because that's what I felt with the third one because you pass from some kind of challenging, almost edutainment kind of approach to art and creation of puzzles with art, and the third one you went full critic on art critic, like it's not redundant, you and that's when I thought, whoa, it looks like this game wants to do two different things, like challenging you, and when you get to the third gallery, makes you think on a complete different direction. I understand why you might feel it doesn't fit. I don't know, it's really hard. I didn't want to be on your shoes to decide this. Personally, I like how different the it makes you feel and it makes you consider this. But yeah, totally understand.
Yeah, it's like you said, there's two different things, and all of these game design talks. I mean, Rami Ismail said it a bit earlier this week on your channel as well, in your masterclass about game design, is that the best games have one core, right? One core feeling, and it's very difficult for me to define this feeling, which he would say is not a good thing, right? Because the more clear you have this defined, the easier it is to design around it. He created this circular pattern, right, where you have the goal, the point of the game, and then you have these mechanics pointing back to this goal. And this third one really sticks out a bit. So is the game supposed to be an art critique, or is it supposed to be giving you an introduction into art? Is it both? Yeah, you're right. It is difficult to be in my shoes.
Thomas, we have a last question. Usually it's Gonçalo Lopes, which is a Nintendo Life writer who poses this question, but thankfully João Machado is here to do this signature question to everyone. Are you thinking of releasing this on Switch?
Yes,
okay.
Of course. I mean, it makes completely sense to release this on Switch. I think it's just as it is an Apple Arcade game, it's also a Switch game.
Yeah.
It's so playful. It's so into the how do you say that, colorful style of Nintendo, and I think it would match really well. It's very portable. It's single tap gameplay. I've been advised by some people that know or developed for Nintendo to maybe make a joystick version, because apparently a lot of people play with their joysticks, while I think you can also touch, right? But I'm sure that's fine. I'll do that. No, those are I mean, you just summed up my two main goals. It's Apple Arcade and Nintendo Switch. Yeah.
Does anyone else have a question for Thomas? And this really, really, like I said, you notice how relaxing and how much you get immersed in the game. I could simply just be here playing this while having a conversation with someone. It's that kind of game. So congratulations on what you achieved. I think it's a
Wow.
really really unique game, and I'm really happy for having please touch the artwork at this year's selection, because yeah, it also stands out. It's amazing to see. You know, something that makes us happy for all these years of doing IndieX and being video games critics. It's that you
Oh,
find
tell me.
you find so many different games, something completely unexpected,
Yeah,
that
I can imagine.
most of the main media wouldn't showcase it, and find this is like discovering a small hidden treasure that nobody else discovered yet, and I think that's the most positive thing. And yeah, please touch the artwork is one of those cases that I doubtfully will forget about this game, and
Thank you very much. That's really nice to hear. Yeah, that's super nice to hear. I would say there's a lot of developers out there and doing these kind of little niche
yeah,
special stuff. I mean, the outcome of Unity and a lot of free assets and cheap assets has, of course, I mean, given the possibilities for small developers to actually do this. And yeah, as you say, it's just for the people to discover it, which actually makes it into a marketing problem,
yeah,
right? I mean, there's a lot of games that stay undiscovered, and I guess that's also the biggest fear of. I mean, it's my biggest fear um, that this game will stay undiscovered. I mean, I'm not saying it's super special because again, I'm very humble. I don't consider myself an artist. I would love as many people to play it, of course, but it's about discoverability. And yeah, if anybody out there has tips and tricks or knows people that are really good in doing this, I'm just one guy, right? And I only have 8 hours a day,
yeah,
and yeah, it makes it very difficult. So it's also a lesson for myself. I have to surround myself with people that are better than me, that are willing to take this risk with me, and hopefully get this to get this to be like a series, right? Because I have more ideas like for Kandinsky, Malevich, which are both Russian painters. And Paul Klee is also on my list. Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Actually, I don't know
yeah.
if this. I will talk about this when we're off the record. But I think I know someone that might be interested in this endeavor with you, because a few years ago we had the similar idea for a game around paintings and real paintings, and we didn't get through. And it looks like Please Touch the Artwork fits exactly what he was thinking about doing, because my idea was
That's nice.
something completely
Yeah.
different. And I will do the handshake and let you
Yeah. We
let you
should
talk.
collaborate. I mean,
Yeah,
every game developer can make his painting, and
yeah,
we just add it to the game, and it becomes like a collection, right?
yeah,
The only requirement, uh, I'm already very strict, is that it's still 2D, right?
yeah,
Because a
yeah.
lot of these art games, what they do is they take painting. I've seen it a lot with surrealism, with Dali.
Yeah,
Is they take his paintings and they put it in 3D, which is very nice and it makes sense. But it's not what I want to do. I want to keep it into the 2D
2D.
plane and then
Yeah.
make it interesting from there on. Well,
Okay.
that's all I want to say.
Thomas, it was really great having you here. Thank you for being with us in the morning. I know the morning isn't easy. For me, it isn't easy as well. But it was great to showcase Please Touch the Artwork. And I hope everyone can go to the Steam page of Please Touch the Artwork, the demo. And thanks for that, for having the demo available until the end of IndieX 2020. Go play it. Go see for yourself why it's so immersive, so creative. And and wishlist it and keep looking at the game. Thomas, thank you, and see you next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye everyone. Don't forget to return
Bye-bye.
at noon. We'll have Pyramid Plunge. So in 1 hour we will return. See you all later, guys.
Bye bye.